Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa. I'm with the NEREC or REC number 4. I am here starting the recording for my last TechBit session for this school year, which will be on formatting picture files. So there is no one currently in person here. So I will just act as if, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. This will be about a half-hour session. And I will be communicating to you where you can find all of these sessions, along with the archived ones since the beginning of the school year. Great PLC topics, staff development, individual teacher training, etc., or even just to build your skills, which is the actual point of this project. So here I'll click into slideshow mode. Here we go. So as I said, I'm with REC4. All of these sessions originated and can be seen on the REC9 website, which has all kinds of public education department links, trainings, handouts, etc. This is related to the technology initiative here in New Mexico. As I said, this is my last session. It'll be generally a review of the session that I did in the fall on this topic. So we will look at picture files in general, how to format them, resize them, etc., so that you can share them effectively and use in projects, etc. With time and depending upon, the variable, whether there's people here in person or not, I may do a watch and do type of session when I'm done with the information departing to you all, or imparting to you all, I should say. And then we'll talk a slight bit about what we can look forward to next year. So there's no one in person. Otherwise, I'd ask people to put their name in the chat box, and hopefully this is going to be fun. I hope some of you are viewing this as a professional learning community, as a teacher group, anyone who's going to view this after the fact. I just hope it's something that is enjoyable to you, because I know it certainly is enjoyable to me. And it's all about learning new things, especially now as teachers were, still post-pandemic data. Students data-wise don't seem to be doing that well. I believe it might partially be due to our skills or the lack thereof in terms of catching up with technology, which is the main purpose of this project. So let's move forward. As I said, since my very first session, this is the 10th one of mine this year. The more you learn one connection or one application on your PC or Mac or what have you, it just makes naturally other connections in your brain that lead to other skills. And you learn that there are multiple ways on a system to do the exact same thing. With your mouse, right clicks are applications. When you click with your index finger, it's basically just selecting things. So hopefully you'll engage yourself in just learning new things without the stress. There's no reason to be stressed out about it. You can't break anything. So just generally speaking, for day-to-day practice, when we're looking at picture files, every computer system has a snipping tool that you can grab or capture things on your screen that you're looking at without having to actually go search for an actual picture file that already exists. You can create your own picture files from something you happen to just be looking at on your screen. When I work with picture files, I work a lot in Microsoft Publisher, which is where it says open a publisher document and paste your pictures in there, etc. You can scan old pictures for editing and for keepsake. I did that with some photos from an old photo album when I did a project for my administrative license program, and took some pictures from baby books when I was very, very, very young, and scanned those and created digital picture files from those. You can do screenshots. If you love Bitmoji on your cell phones, you can create picture files that you can use in presentations, which you'll see here in mine, from screenshots that you take on your phone, email it to yourself, and then you can create a picture file on your computer system. You can also do your Google searches or any other search engine that you use and search for images, whatever it is you need for images and saving pictures, and we'll talk about that a little bit. I have found that in working with picture files, especially when you take pictures on your cell phone, and for example, you want to email it to yourself, so that you can send it to people, let's say, or make a family newsletter or a classroom newsletter with pictures that you take from your phone. What I've learned, and I only know what I understand to the extent that I've used it and taught myself, but I'm sure there's other deeper understandings of things than I have. So a lot of what I've learned in working with picture files digitally is their size. And not the size in terms of inches, but the size in terms of file size, in terms of megabytes or kilobytes, et cetera. So that's one of the most important skill sets we'll talk about today. And then that's what I mean when I say formatting and size. And we're about bordering things, making your pictures look nice, and looking at the kind of file types. There are many different file types under the category of picture files. So we will talk briefly about that just for your general knowledge. Like, as I said, this is for day-to-day use and understanding. So again, working with picture files, you can see I have a Bitmoji of myself that I did on my phone. And I'm trying to talk other colleagues into downloading the Bitmoji free app so that they can create their own avatar and add to some of the presentations we do together. So anyway, when we're looking at picture files, you might have noticed when you look at picture files and you're able to see the extensions at the end of the file name. I'm kind of particular about being able to see the extensions on my files on my PC. There are easy ways to do that. If you're looking on your, let's say you open a folder and you have like Word documents and publisher documents and PDF documents, maybe PowerPoint files, et cetera, in your folders. If only you see the title of the file and no dot whatever, then you're not able to view the extensions. And that's what tells me what type of file. You can tell from the icon, but that tells me what type of file I'm using. So when we look at some of these extensions, JPEG, PNGs, GIFs, PDFs, etc., these are just the long definitions of these picture files. It isn't necessarily important that we know that, but I think it's a great piece of information to share with each other. Just to know what these like GIFs, people send GIFs all the time through your cell phone in your text messages, etc. And it just basically stands for graphics interchange format. PDFs, portable document format. Everyone can open a format with Adobe Acrobat Reader, right? So this is just some info on files, on picture file types. So let me look at this really quick. So when I say, if you recall, if anybody's going to be viewing this for a second time, this is what I discussed in the first session that I did in the fall. And I briefly mentioned it earlier that I will email myself a picture from my phone, and then you'll save it on your computer. After you open your email, you'll go to the attachment, right-click Save As, and then you can save it into a folder. You would then go to that folder, hover over that file, and click, or this is still in the email, you could click down. See, again, earlier, I'm catching myself into contradictory comments because there are a few ways to do the same thing. If you're going to your email and you have a picture attachment from yourself, you can either right-click Save As, you can double-click and it will open it up. Excuse me. You can hover over it and it will give you some options. Either way, whichever option you choose, you're wanting to download that file from your email onto your computer system. You can't do anything to it if it's going to stay in your email. So you want to take it out of your email, save it into a folder by downloading it onto your system. And then you will go to that folder if you've already saved it to the folder of choice, or a default download folder exists on your PC. All you have to do is go to your folders and there's a default download folder, default picture folder, default documents folder, etc. Or you can save as right from the email directly to the file that you want. When you go to that folder where that picture file is, or that attachment you got from your email, you will right-click on that picture file, and then you have options. So you have a little window drop down that will see if you want to copy it, cut it, paste it, whatever. And I'm showing you here, there are control key shortcuts on your keyboard. Some of these basic, for me, they become part of your, you don't even have to think about it. I know Control C is copy, Control V is paste, Control X is cut. Control Y is repeat the action you did, the last action you just did. But these are basically the 3 control keys that you can use very, very quickly. If you're working in a database, you could do Control apostrophe, and that just copies what the line above, what the row above said. It just copies it into the current cell that you're in. And you can also, again, like there's multiple ways to do the same thing. You can right click, cut, right click, paste in your desired folder. And now you can work with these files now that they're on your computer and in your folder. So once the file is on your computer, wherever you want it for it to be, I'm kind of repeating somewhat, but this is where we're getting into actually changing the picture files so that you can use them effectively in projects, making materials, emailing to family and friends and colleagues, etc. So let's say I'm in a folder and I have a bunch of picture files. I'm going to hover over the picture that I want to edit. So I'm going to right click over that file name and I'll get a drop down with lots of different options, and I'm going to select edit. When I select edit, and I'll show you in a video clip here in just a second, you're going to click edit. You'll get a window that shows the picture that you're working with in the canvas that allows you to edit that picture. For me, I will notice that, for example, if you ever sent a picture to yourself in an email or sent a picture to someone else in an email, or you've received an email with a picture file someone wants to share with you, sometimes all you can see when you click on that picture to look at it, all you can see is a sky or a corner of the room or the ceiling. That's because the size of the file is so large that you can't work with it. It would take forever for you to be able to even download it, or much less send it to anybody else. So that's just a really important tip about the size of picture files on your phone versus the size when you actually want to work with them on your computer. So when I select edit, I get it in the canvas to edit the picture. I'm going to go up to the option where it says resize. I'm going to change the percentage, which is what I do. If it will, the default on the picture you send in its original state will show 100%. And so I will go to that window, and I'll show you in a second. I'll go to that window that says 100%. And usually to resize a picture for use, in my experience, for PowerPoints, projects, signs, flyers, newsletters, etc., going down from 100 to about 20 to 25% is the best that I have found for myself. And I'm going to show you the difference in file size by doing that. So here's an example. Let's say, oh, I'm sorry, automatically went. Let's say this is what I did one time. I sent a picture that I took on my cell phone to my email. When as I said, I saved that picture from my email, sent it to my computer, and saved it in a folder. So now, as I said, I went into the folder, I hover over the file, I right click, and I select edit. When I selected edit, this is the window that you're looking at right now that comes up. So you can see the file name up at the top, and I'm in the Paint application on my computer. So you can see I have a toolbar here. And what I'm going to do next, which is what I've just learned from experience, long story short, is I would select, I'm gonna go back to show you. So I have it circled here that it shows you the name of the file, but you can also see where I have select, resize, and rotate over in this area here towards the left. So I would select resize. And when I select resize, this is what this is what you would see. These are basically just screen snippets so that I could fit them on a slide and show you each of the steps. So you can see the picture in the background that's in my Paint application. When I selected edit, and you can see it says resize or skew. After I did edit and selected resize, you can do pixels or percentage. I find percentage for me more understandable. Starts it with 100. When I check that out at 100, I change it. I just put my cursor in that box and change the 100 to 20. And then I click OK. And then you can see right now that picture changed so that I can actually see the entire picture. And I can make the judgment call as to whether or not, yes, that's a good size for me, or no, I want to undo and then redo it to a larger size or a smaller size, whatever your purposes are. So again, you would right click on your picture file, select edit, go to the resize button and change to the percentage that is desirable or acceptable to you. Mine is usually 20-25%. And then you would save that file. You have to actually save it in order to save the specifics that you just programmed. One little caution is that if you reduce the file size too much, that's when your pictures can look pixelated or very fuzzy. So for example, if you wanted to take a picture from your phone because you want to print it as an 11:14 photo, you might not want to reduce it that much so that when it's printed in a larger scale, it's not going to look fuzzy. So you want to be strategic when you are working with picture files and sizing. This is where I think is the fascinating result of resizing. And when I did this training this session in the fall, I did have a few people attending with me, including a group from Silver City. And when I showed them the original file size of that picture file before I changed it, and then after I changed it, the file size, if you can look at that from 5,898 kilobytes to a file size of 372 kilobytes, there were audible gasps in the room that I could hear, which was great, I thought, because when I learned this years back, I was excited and so happy about it too, because I understood. Now I get it. I get it that a file that huge is not going to travel very fast in cyberspace. It's not going to download very fast, depending upon your processing system size. But 372 kilobytes, any system in today's day and age, you could download that picture, work with it, send it quickly, use it in projects, and it's so much more doable, like my title says, formatting picture files, using picture files. This is how you use a picture file. In my experience, reduce the size to a doable size so that you can manage the picture. So when we do these things, as I just mentioned, it makes our picture files manageable for whatever we want to do, for emailing, inserting into presentations, newsletters, posters, greeting cards, awards, certificates, signs, banners, flyers, business cards, any kind of teaching tools, visual supports, calendars, agendas, individual agendas for students. The possibilities are truly, truly endless. And I admit I'm a very visual learner, very visual brain. So I love working in these formats with picture files. But as a teacher, even if you're not, you must learn this because of the percentage of learners who are visual learners. All of us are visual learners to an extent, but many, many, many of your students are. So this is something that I consider a very essential skill. So when I'm looking into my folder here, and I talked about extensions earlier, remember? So you could see in the files here that my extensions show in my files because I want them to show. Some systems, default systems, will just have your file names, but they will not show the extensions. So if you're interested in showing your extensions in all of the files on your computer, and I'm working on a PC, not an Apple, not a Mac. So I am not familiar with the process. They're generally the same, but you may want to play with your Mac if you have a Mac or if you have both, to see how to go about viewing your extensions. That might be a default on your Mac where you actually get to see the extensions anyway. But if you can't see the extensions in your folders, this is how you would do that. So you would go onto your PC or onto your home screen or your desktop. You would open any folder. You could see I have 5 folders here at the top. Anything that's in a folder icon, just open any folder. And then you're going, when you open that folder, as you can see, you have a toolbar. You're going to go to the View tab. When you go to the View tab, you'll be able to check the file extension box. And then that will impact all the files on your entire computer. So I would go to the File tab. When I go to the File tab, you can see another drop down, a fatter drop down toolbar comes down. And then you can see here, you have boxes, item check boxes and file name extensions. That box was not checked originally on my system. This was a long time ago, but excuse me. So it's as simple as that. You just go into View tab, you'll see this toolbar, check the box that says file name extensions. You'll select OK, and then you'll be able to see the extensions on every file on your computer, as I mentioned. So now I'm going to show you some samples of some projects that I've done and do on a regular basis using picture files that I've snipped or that I have grabbed with a snipping tool or that I have created, etc. Calendars, the calendar itself was an Excel file of a 2022-23 calendar, 12-month calendar that I simply copied, did all the changing and formatting to our employee calendar. And then I basically took a snippet of that Excel, created a picture file out of it, and then I could cut and paste it into a publisher document here. The same with the table, that is the key on the holidays there. I went into a Word document, inserted a table, created all those dates and colored them appropriately according to my key that I wanted to do or create. And then I just saved that table and cut and pasted it in as I did with our logo and a small text box that I created for the year. This is a brochure that I created for the statewide rollout for C2B transition, early childhood transition of kids with disabilities as babies, transitioning into the school, public school programs. This is also a publisher document that I did in brochures. There are default templates that you can select and then tweak to your heart's desire. Pictures were cut and pasted, picture files resized like the logo there, like the tables, like I said. I mentioned to you using your avatars on your phone. You can see here somewhat of a process. I created it, I went and selected an avatar. I went into my Bitmoji application on my phone, selected one of the, did a little search for a word or whatever, selected one, did a screenshot on my phone, and then I shared the screenshot to my email, sent it to myself, and then so it came to me looking like this, looking like the picture that is framed there. And then I cut and pasted into a publisher document where it is there, as you can see, and that's where I could tweak it. I could crop it and take off all that extraneous phone related information and just block it out so that it's just the white avatar of myself. And then once I did that, I could right click save as picture, and then I saved it in my folder. We used to have to give monthly calendars to our director of our activities at the REC. This was just my sample. I would do a simple template in Publisher of a blank calendar, add picture files, add text boxes, arrows with text boxes, etc., to show what I'm doing for the month. And these are all picture files, text boxes, etc. This is a sample of a visual agenda, for example, that you might use for some students or a student or all students, and you can tweak them however you want. But as you can see, I just did a lot of searching online for appropriate clip art that were basically clip art in general. So it looked not cartoony, but not real photos. And I could save those in the size that I wanted so that I could put them into a project like this, print them easily, etc. Took a poster that I saw online, created another publisher document, and typed in what I saw and created my own thing. Those letters in color, I basically inserted individual word art letters and did separate CLASSROOM so that I could color each letter individually so that it looks the way it does there. Here's another sample of some visual schedule or agendas or daily classroom schedule visual supports. Same thing with pictures, clip art, icons that you can put borders around, save, etc. Same with this, another example of a poster that I've given to many of my districts, if not, no, all of my districts. for use in the classroom to print out as a poster. Created it also, no pictures here, mostly text boxes of word art and text boxes. So for next year, TechBits, to my understanding, is a contract that the state will be having in the form of the technology initiative. REC 9 will have the main contract for housing and organizing and managing the project. I think they're still working on how it's going to look for next year, but it does exist. And to my understanding, the money that was given to the state, which was quite a bit, will be doubled for next year. So please spread the word about these sessions and look for more information so that hopefully you can start at the beginning of a new year, making these sessions a part of your every week or every month teacher learning paradigm, or even individual self-learning paradigm. These sessions are for parents, community members, students, not just teachers and administrators. Please spread the word to your communities. Anyway, have a PTA meeting for people to bring their laptops if they have them to learn together. These are free and they're accessible to anyone who wants to access them. There's no passwords, nothing that's required to go to the websites I'm going to share with you in a minute to show where all of these sessions can be found. Hopefully for next year, all of the 10 RECs in the state will be provided with resources to hire digital learning coaches that will be there to do these very things that I'm doing here today. As I mentioned earlier, digital skills are essential skills. I know that many people retired at the beginning of the pandemic due to the fact that learning became 100% digital. And many teachers that have been teaching for many years simply were not willing or able or ready to transition to the digital teaching. That's a good thing, I believe, because we are still not behind the 8 ball in terms of catching up with student ability, societal expectations, educational expectations in terms of digital skills. So that's why we're here with these sessions. So please make plans for next year. Let's see, as I told you, memories, I can't believe it's already May. So these are the sessions that, I guess I just did 9 this year. So these are the sessions that I did for this year. I can't imagine that maybe we'll do a repeat of some, depending upon what the format is of the project next year, but I will be happy and excited to figure out my role in spreading this information for all of you. And if you have any information about technological or digital things that you want and need to learn for next year, please let your RECs know or contact me or anyone that you've viewed in one of these sessions to get those suggestions on record so that we can plan for next year. So these, as I mentioned earlier, these are the 4 websites now, in addition to REC 9, where you can go to have links to the REC 9 website, links to the other websites that have these sessions. I just added a page onto the REC VOR website for TechBits specifically. Excuse me, Southwest REC or REC 10 has Christine, who is their ITS person or their technology person, and she's been working hard on their web page, which links everything that all the other pages link, so that you're all in the loop, no matter what of these links you go to. The RECA is the association for all of the regional education service centers or cooperatives here in New Mexico. So the RECA website gives you links for TechBits as well. So again, this will be coming for next year. Anyone who's interested in getting any of my templates, any of my samples, this training will be, of course, archived and recorded. But if anyone is interested in getting any of my samples, I'd be happy to send them to you. All you have to do is email me. I'd be happy to do that. So that is the end of the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see here. I'm going to stop recording. Thank you all for viewing this. If you are viewing this as a recording, I hope it's helpful, and I look forward to looking and seeing you all next year. Take good care.